Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, and I just got done watching the second half of DR Season 2 over 3 months early. So yeah, as everyone should know, at this point, the last 10 episodes of Season 2 were leaked on Peacock 2 days ago on July 26th. And while since then they have been taken off, the damage was already done. Originally, I wasn't going to watch these episodes until October, and try my best to avoid spoilers. But then I realized that there was no way I was going to be able to go 3 months without getting spoiled. So, I watched all 10 episodes, and you know what? I absolutely loved them. I know a lot of people were worried that the Tournament of Sources would be too similar to the Tournament of Elements, but I'm glad to say that DR has managed to make this tournament very different from the last. Okay, before I start, I want to say that it does really suck that these episodes were leaked early. And like I said in the short that I uploaded yesterday, Ninjago has a pretty bad airing schedule ever since the show got revived in 2014. It must really suck to be someone who worked really hard on the show just for it to be randomly leaked on some random streaming service at midnight. But with that being said, it is what it is. LEGO really needs to do something about this problem. Also, this video will be spoiler free for anyone who hasn't seen these episodes. And I don't even know if I'm allowed to talk about these episodes, which is why I'm also going to be using still images instead of footage from the show like I usually do. One more thing I want to add here, thanks for 200 subscribers. This channel has been growing a lot in the past month. So thanks to everyone who has liked, commented, and subscribed. Okay, I'm not entirely sure where to begin, so I guess I'll start with how the season sets itself apart from Season 4. For starters, while the Tournament of Elements was an underground fighting arena, the Tournament of Sources is a public event with spectators who aren't a part of the tournament. Now, where this season really sets itself apart from Season 4 is actually through the one thing that's pretty much the exact same between them, other than them both being a tournament for Elemental Masters. I'm not going to say what it is that these two tournaments share, but Dragon's Rising puts a twist on this item that is the cause for some of the most fun and unique action scenes this show has ever seen, and that's only possible because of this one gimmick. Which is also a good transition into the next thing I want to talk about. This season has some of the most unique scenes this show has ever seen. Like, there's a scene of the ninja just chilling in their little apartment while talking about who could be behind a series of murders that happened between episodes 10 and 11, which I will talk about in a little bit. And there's another scene where everyone who's in the tournament is at this feast, including both the heroes and the villains. So during this scene, the ninja and Roz can't fight each other and can only taunt and tease each other. It's such a unique idea for this show, and I loved it. We also get to see so many different and unique fights. On Season 4, we did see a good number of fights. Here, we got to see so many more, and a lot of them without the ninja, or one of Roz's students. There's one episode where we get a montage of a bunch of fights. During said montage, yes, a good amount of the time, we only saw who won the fight, but that was all that was needed. We got introduced to tons of new Elemental Masters, and I will admit, some of these new powers are kind of dumb, but hey, who cares? Also, we see a small handful of old Elemental Masters. Of course, there's Tox and Mr. Pale, but then we also see Camille, who I was expecting to see since we got a minifigure of her last year. And then there's one other old Elemental Master who makes a cameo that I won't spoil. Now, onto the characters. I really enjoyed pretty much every character who is here. Let's start with Aaron, since he might have been my favorite character during this set of episodes. I love how, since he can't compete in the tournament, he takes the job that Lloyd gave him very seriously and doesn't want to mess up. Of course, he finds out that he didn't actually do object spinjitzu in episode 10, and that it was Sora. I think that was something that everyone knew was going to happen, but I won't say how he finds out or how he reacts, because that didn't happen the way I thought it would. Now, I love the scene where Roz catches Aaron while he's looking for any evidence that Roz is behind the murders, which again I will get to in a little bit. Instead of fighting Eren, Roz uses this opportunity to get inside Eren's head again, only this time everything that he's saying is true, I think. This is also the scene where we find out about some pretty interesting stuff. I think we all also expected Eren would go to Roz for help, but what I didn't expect is how far he would go. I really want to talk about what Eren goes through in Season 2, but since this is a non-spoiler video, and again, I don't even know if I'm allowed to talk about this, but if you haven't seen the leaked episodes yet, just know that the place Eren leaves off on at the end of the season isn't at all what I expected. And I'm still processing that final scene. And I'll say this, if you showed me the final scene of Season 2 exactly 1 year ago, then I would probably lose faith in Dragon's Rising. I wouldn't be able to believe that the writers realistically got Eren to where he is at the end of Season 2 over the course of just one season. His story feels so natural, and it's obvious that the writers have had this planned out since the beginning. Same with Sora, except I wouldn't really say that Sora has developed in Season 2, but is more so a mirror to Eren. While Eren is beating himself up because he doesn't have an elemental power and believes he doesn't belong on the team, Sora used to believe that she didn't belong on the team, but has since grown and gotten a lot stronger and more comfortable with her powers. Everything is going amazingly for Sora, and Eren is happy for her, but at the same time is extremely jealous, which is causing him to put more pressure and stress on himself. And there's also that Eren really misses his parents, and is trying to find them, but he has no idea where to look, and is starting to believe that the ninja aren't doing him any good. Now for the OG 6 ninja. I thought they were all pretty good. It kind of feels like Cole and Zane are just along for the ride, but I'm still really happy to see Cole back with the team. And he does get a small subplot with Eren. Zane, however, could have been cut from the season and nothing would have changed. It does seem that Lloyd isn't being affected by the visions nearly as much anymore, which I'm fine with because they're not completely gone, and there's even a whole episode where Lloyd is stressing out about one of them. Kai and Bonzo don't get a lot of screen time, but again, I think what they did get was pretty good. Nia is kind of in the same boat as Cole this season, but I'm talking about her here because I'm also going to be talking about Jay here. I thought that Jay was handled pretty well. He didn't get as much screen time as I would have liked, but I thought that Nia and the rest of the team were handled pretty well during that scene. And like I said earlier, it's clear that the writers have had this whole thing planned out, so I won't critique it too much until the show is finished. As for Wildfire, if you've seen my video on her, then you would know my feelings change on her from season to season. But I'm happy to say that I really enjoyed her here. I don't remember scenes that stood out to me where she was annoying. She also has a little subplot going on that I wasn't expecting that I think fits her character. And then all of the villains were great. It was really enjoyable seeing Noct and Rock's plan being revealed in the final few episodes. Oh yeah, we get a good look at another member of the Forbidden Five. And this is one of the scariest designs for a villain I've ever seen, and I absolutely love it. Roz and Jordana were fantastic. I feel about the same on Cinder here as I did in the first 10 episodes. I like him and think that he's cool, but I just want to know more about him. The twist with Beatrix was something that I didn't think of, and it's implied that she dies, which I wasn't at all expecting. I was fully expecting her to be a reoccurring character for the rest of the show. Speaking of death, let's talk about one of the darkest subplots the show has ever done. This is definitely the most spoilery I'm going to get in this video, but I'm not going to say who was killed, who the murderer was, who, or how and why they were killed. The main thing I want to talk about is the fact that it's not implied that these people die, nor does it happen off screen. Okay, most of them happen off screen, but one of them doesn't. And the fact that the writers weren't afraid to say the words kill, die, death, and Eren at one point even says murders. I've never liked how kids shows are afraid to say words like this, And there are some shows like Avatar: The Last Airbender that are clever with how they get around saying the words kill and died. But then there are shows like Ninjago where they just replace the word kill with destroy. And I hate it when shows say destroy instead of kill. But in Season 2 of DR, other than Zane saying destroyed instead of killed once, the writers tend to shy away from using those words. It's a small thing, but it shows just how mature the show is. Using Avatar as an example again, that show had some really dark themes, but still was only allowed to imply death. So the fact that Ninjago isn't being forced to only imply death here is really impressive, and I love it. So throughout the season, there's this running mystery on who the killer is. Man, if I had a nickel for every time Ninjago has a story about the ninja entering a tournament and having to solve a mystery while there, I would have 2 nickels, which is practically nothing in 2024, but it's still weird that it happened twice. So yeah, this is one of the darkest stories the show has ever had, and I really enjoyed it. And seeing how it related back to another mystery that is never mentioned in the show, but it's something that everybody was curious about. Now I want to talk about stuff like the animation and voice acting. Remember earlier when I was talking about the one thing that the Tournament of Elements shares with the Tournament of Sources, except Dragon's Rising puts a twist on it? Well, like I said earlier, because of this one gimmick, we see the ninja do things that they have never done before. We see so many new elemental powers and so many amazing fight scenes. And also the lighting in some shots is absolutely phenomenal. The voice acting as well in some scenes is insane. I mainly want to give huge props to Sam Vincent, Devin Mack, Sabrina, and Kelly. Those 4 really stood out to me in a couple of scenes, so much that I'm going to play audio from a couple of scenes. Now the first one I want to play is a spoiler, so if you want to skip to the timestamp that is on screen right now.
No! I need him! Eren, no! Wait! Eren, stop! Eren! Eren! I know you lost your memory, but you need to know the truth. I love you. I will always love you.
Before I end the video, I do want to talk about the 2 theories I've made on Season 2 in the past month. No, Ego does not die. He's only in like 1 episode, unfortunately. And as for whether or not Rising Dragon was overpowered or not, I'm happy to say that it wasn't. Unfortunately though, I did have 2 other theory videos planned, but then Peacock went and screwed everything up, so those videos won't be happening. So with that, let me know if you've seen the season or not, and if you have, then what do you think of it? With that, if you enjoyed, I'd really appreciate it if you took 2 seconds to like and subscribe. Bye.